You know, some of my favorite handgun hunts, I remember a hunt years ago with a 44 mag, and it was Jeff Reynolds and I, and we were hunting on the ground, and I had taken a tripod and built up a shooting brace with a sandbag on top of it, and then the deer were rutting. They were really running this bottom along this creek bed pretty good. We'd thrown some corn out, tried to get them to slow down and stop in a few places, and a couple of these bucks had come and gone, and man, I mean, I can feel the tension. You know, the one thing I want to do is always make a good shot for the deer, but the second thing is you know, everybody's invested a lot of time in this. I want to make sure that we get it all right. That was a perfect example of a pulled shot. Shot him back a little bit. Kind of knew it right away. Operator error on my end. That's a learning episode. When you hit a deer there, he's gonna die. You've got to just give him time in that situation. And this was a buck, didn't bleed a lot, kind of ran a long way. We ended up tracking him across the creek and finding him several hours later. But what a great hunt. What a memorable hunt. What a beautiful deer that we took. And that's been a long time ago. It's probably 10, 12 years ago since we took that buck down in that situation. But you know, the memories of that deer darting in and out of the brush, chasing does, finally kind of looking at me when I squeezed off the shot, you know, a little over 30 yards was something I'll never forget. I have that deer mounted in my shop, and I still look at it and I can still see that hunt every day. You know, another one of my favorite hunts was hunting in a big field that had a bunch of doveweed. These deer were kind of roaming this big ridge and coming across it, and I had the big 460 on this hunt. And you know, these deer were patterned in there pretty good, and like always, we were throwing a little bit of corn out to kind of get them in position at the end of the day. But you know, sitting in that blind, watching these two big bucks come across that hill, I mean, it's something I'll never forget. Got him. Got him. Got him. Smoked that guy. Whew. That's what I'm talking about right there. Did you see him come running across that field there? He came in. There was 2 or 3 other deer milling around. I mean, I guess they like his little shade here or there. I'm definitely a little shook up. You see the gun shaking a little bit right there. That's a giant. You see all those tines? I mean, one side's got an extra tine coming out here. He curves in. He's got brow tines going that way. That's what I'm talking about from the Performance Center right there. Smoked that deer. That's, I think, my second biggest deer I've ever shot with a handgun. You know, when it all comes together and all that practice is there, and you make a shot and you know you made a good shot, and you're tracking that blood and you find him within 100 yards, that's just one of the coolest things. And that 460 is such a dynamic caliber that Smith & Wesson has built this handgun platform around. It's just one of many in the Smith & Wesson family of lineups of revolvers and that you can use to go hunt with. You know, another set of hunts is one I've got to share with my great friend Jeff Reynolds. We had all modified this box blind. We cut the end of it out where it opened up, and we put brush all around it. And it was on one of the pipelines that run through one of our deer leases. And these pipelines become great edge habitat all the time for us. You know, we'll have some protein feeders around them. We'll have some corn feeders in the area, and they love to run these pipelines and cross them back and forth. And randomly, you know, just good bucks will show up. A lot of them that we don't have a lot of history on. And so in Jeff's case, he had to fire a warning shot before he got his. Stay on him. First deer with a handgun. Smith & Wesson Performance Center 460. You can see. That is an awesome experience. Like I said a while ago, if you get a chance, you've got to do this. This is a blast. Right there he is. He didn't go 30 yards.
Smith & Wesson Performance Center 460. Whew. Magnum. Can't forget the Magnum on there. What a thrill. My first handgun deer, and I am super excited.
You know, I was up in that same stand in a different season, sitting there, and a lot of deer were coming through. I had Rusty with me as the camera guy, and I'm shooting the 460. And, you know, these deer are kind of coming through, and this is a good buck. We picked him up on the scouting camera, and he keeps showing up in different times. I finally got a shot on him, but I made a bad shot and had to follow it up. Had to follow it up again in the tracking. And that's a neat aspect when it comes to revolver hunting, is how, you know, if you've practiced enough, you become proficient enough, you understand how to get right back on them for a fast follow-up, and they're easy to acquire with most of the sights that we're using. But I'm going to talk about another hunt real quick with my good friend Tony Meany. Tony worked at Smith & Wesson for a long time. I learned a lot of great things from Tony about handguns and calibers and choosing them. We talked ammo for a lot. He and I hunted together a lot. And this guy, I mean, he's an expert in the hunting area when it comes to handguns and being proficient with it. Well, Tony liked to rattle. We rattle a lot of different times. We cover a lot of ground together. He would plan trips down here to hunt with us on the lease in that type of situation. There's one time, and this was one of the most impressive. You know, we've been rattling all day. My arms are tired. I'm kind of whining, want to go back and eat a hamburger or something. And we're kind of down. There's not many places left to rattle, and I hit them. And man, I mean, in rattling, it can happen so fast. Shoot him. He's going down. He's down right there. He's down right there. He's down right there. How fast was that second shot? Perfect. He knew what he could do. I don't recommend that shot for most people. I mean, he shot that deer straight on, put another one in him. The deer didn't go 30 yards piled up in a brush. That's what an expert can do with it in his hand. I wouldn't even have probably taken that. I'd take that shot with a rifle. I wouldn't have taken it with a handgun, because I don't feel like I'm as qualified as a guy like him. He knows what he can do, and it goes to show you in the right set of hands how great these handguns can be.